Mario is going to be like a good night's sleep, where it's set in everything he already knows. He's going to come back and just blast it.
Absolutely, and you're seeing they're both off here. We're going to go ahead and sync up the video here soon enough through the first level. Those who have been with us this entire time, we've said more than we really need to say about 1-1. I think the last 2 months have been the most anyone's ever really talked about 1-1. Looks like both the runners are going to be taking the safe strat, going for power-ups early here at Dash. So this will be interesting. I don't see either person playing Small Fire, but you never know in a tournament race.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying seeing both players getting the power-ups as soon as possible. And yeah, that also would mean that I'd be really, really surprised to see Small Fire from either of them. Partly also because just the fact that Small Fire does take a little bit longer to set up. And I think both of these guys are going for maximum time, you know.
All right, so as we see, they are both fully suited up, got that Fire Flower going, and so far so good for both runners. Look at that. Almost in sync. A little bit of pattern differences between the two of them, but getting the pipe at the same time. That's the beautiful thing about Mario. For as optimized as a run that it is, there are really little differences that you will see between most runners, especially at the top level. Just, you got some spots where you get to pick your own adventure, so to speak, still in a speed run.
Yeah, there's lots of different, because basically the way that you run, like how much time you spend on the ground versus running, if you jump up and bop blocks, you know, nothing like that actually affects Mario's speed. So it is fun to just see everybody's own little personality on the way that they like to get through levels.
All right, and so far so good, very clean, and 1-3 here on each. So 1-4 you're going to see on the castle. Those of you not familiar with Super Mario Brothers, the reason that we want Fire Flower in the Warpless run, as opposed to if you've seen the 80% run, which again, new world record recently, lots of stuff to talk about for Super Mario Brothers over the next 20 minutes. Fire actually saves time to defeat Bowser. See how the bridge doesn't collapse on that animation when you grab the axe? If you don't have that, you have to watch that whole animation. What's it, about a second and a half, 1.75 seconds, Dash? I don't know off the top of my head the time lost there, but it is significant.
Yeah, I think it's even a little bit longer, because it's the bridge collapse and it takes Bowser a little while to drop as well.
Alright, so coming into 2 here, you can see a little bit of a challenging platform, some good snipes, and just some overall great play. And like I said again, it really boils down to the personality, as you said, Dash, of each runner, just how they take their patterns and everything. Up through, taking it safe.
Speaking of, I liked Mars's few little like backwards duck jumps and all kinds of little, just a little bit of extra swag.
It is a proven scientific fact that swag increases your speed. So 2-2 into here. This is the first of our 2 full swim levels. There's a bit of a swimming section in the last level, 8-4. This is definitely a very, very different level than you'll see in any other level in this game. The swim dynamic just comes into play, and I don't see either person really going for the duck jump. They're going to go ahead and blast through on the fire. I don't know if Mars activated. It doesn't look like he did.
Yep, they're both using fire. So one thing also, just to go back a little bit, I wanted to talk about the Bowser kills just a little bit, where it does save time, like you said, to fire kill Bowsers. However, the thing that really separates really good runners from really, really good runners, like the 19-0 crowd, is how quickly Mars and Goofy both defeated Bowser. I mean, they basically didn't stop running forward at him the entire time that they were also shooting him, losing as little time as possible and fire killing him just a few pixels in front of him. That is really how you save just those couple extra seconds every single world.
Absolutely, and there's just a lot of things that you'll see a lot of these top-level runners do. Now that we're getting to the nitty-gritty, we are seeing the best Mario players in the world coming down to these races, final races in the tournament. Just how easy they make this stuff look. And Dash is a runner. He was in this tournament. I'm a runner. I was in this tournament. This isn't as easy as these guys will make it look, as you're seeing going through.
Yeah, it looks effortless, but I mean, every jump is... like, one thing that's is kind of interesting to appreciate when you're watching is just how often you are required in this game to basically jump on the very frame that you land. When the character looks like they're just kind of bouncing on the ground, you know, those are all a lot of very quick inputs where the player is basically hitting jump right on the frame that they're landing every time. And if you hit A early, then you'll land without jumping and run forward, and that can cause deaths or power downs just out of nowhere. And it happens so frequently.
Absolutely. So we're still in the first half of this game. The first few worlds in Super Mario Brothers really teaches you the physics, kind of gets you into. This is our first instance of seeing the Hammer Bros. Very briefly for a speedrun setting, really no problem till later in the game. It's really... You're going to see some pretty clean runs coming through here. Most of these guys are good on this. I hate to break out the commentator's curse, but it is to be said that what separates a lot of these races getting down to these last rounds is going to be World 5, is going to be World 6, and where they are in power-up going into World 8.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. And so in 3-2, oh wow, so we're seeing... and there it is. Thanks, Goofy. The Goofy Chocobo strategy of shooting fireballs to the music there. The reason you do that is this game has a sprite limit, or a certain number of enemies that can be on screen at any time. And so as you run, if you were to run without defeating any enemies, then only enemies can really spawn as the other ones behind you are despawning. Which, if you do in that level, it creates kind of an unfavorable pattern of Goombas that's just really kind of tricky to jump through. But if you defeat just the right enemies, then it kind of manipulates future spawns, and it makes things just a little bit easier.
It will be said, you spend enough time in the Super Mario Brothers community, you're going to hear a lot of thank you goofies for a lot of strats that you'll see people employ. So this is going to be interesting going to 3-4. Mars is a recent disciple of the spreadsheet. I don't know if he's playing on it. Goofy, I don't know as well. Nope, looks like they're both going to be playing it a little awkward, so I don't think the spreadsheet will come into play. You'll see the top tier runners actually have a spreadsheet that tells them where the Podoboos are going to be in 3-4, 5-4, just to kind of know, based on frame rule where they are, the pattern they're going to get to help them go faster.
Yeah, that kind of thing is much more difficult to use in a race setting, though, both because of the different time, like the way that you start the game, also versus whether or not you've lost any frame rules on the way. Depending on how many it can be, that kind of thing can perhaps not just be a little bit riskier to use than just slowing down a little bit.
All right, so now it's our favorite time in the race. I want to see chat call it out. Are we team top route or are we team bottom route in World 4-2? Are you going top? Are you going safety? Or do you want that extra swag going bottom route going through here?
Yeah, I can never remember what I've seen runners do in the past.
Goofy is probably going to be team top route. Mars might be going bottom. I'm just calling it out right now. And they both go bottom.
Oh my gosh. Double bottom route. Fantastic. See, that's my favorite. The bottom route is where it's at.
Absolutely. I'm going to have a chat with Goofy afterwards. I know he loves them safety strats, but you're getting towards the end of the tournament. Biggest game of the year. Got to let it all hang out.
All right, so into 4-3, there's one small thing about this level where it can be... There's one jump in particular where if you are running right the entire time in this level without releasing it or bumping into anything, and then you jump off this last platform on the correct pixel, you can get Mario's sub-pixel level to a more favorable spot that actually saves you 1 frame walking to the castle. But because this game is weird, it actually saves you 21 frames. I don't know if either of them got it there, but people call it sky boots because you can see 1 pixel of the sky underneath his boots.
I am terrible at sky boots. I'm not the person to ask.
Yeah, I'm just never even sure.
Alright, so both players navigate the maze in 4-4 with relative ease. What kind of Bowser are we looking for? Both kind of get a favorable Bowser.
Excellent.
Goofy reacts a little bit quicker there. That's just the difference between the forward Bowser and the backwards Bowser. 4-4 is one of the trickier ones in the game.
Yeah, that was really cool. We saw Goofy with the forward Bowser. He slid under it and shot it from behind. Mars had a more back Bowser, so he stopped in front of it and shot it from the front. So yeah, that was really cool to see. It's with them being so close to being synced up here. that kind of thing is super interesting.
Alright, so we're to the end of 5-1 now, and again, this is the run killer coming up here, 5-2. We're going to have the cannon you're going to see right at the beginning. The bill will either fire or it won't fire, and it's tough to really predict. We'll see how safe they play it. Mars has to wait for the early build. Goofy does not get it. He is going to muscle on right through. So now we just got to worry about 5-3 and 5-4, and that's going to be end of one of the tougher worlds in the run, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, totally. World 5 is probably the hardest world in the run as far as losing runs when you're going for PB attempts and such. World 5 is definitely the run killer, especially starting with 5-2. I mean, 5-1 is kind of a breather, but yeah, what you explained about 5-2 is really tough. Then we get in here in 5-3 with these random bullet bills that shoot. These can just absolutely mess you up as well if you don't know. Oh, and Mars. Oh, no.
Mars was not able to bop the Goomba. You have to bop that Goomba in order not to despawn that platform. So Mars takes an unfortunate death. He's not going to be able to get Fire Flower coming here, and he again has to wait for this platform and gets a bad bill. He's now taking 2 deaths in 5-3. He's down to 1. I'm sorry, he got the 1 up, so he still got some time to make up, though, as Goofy is chugging along, employing the world-famous Roy L. Goodbar strat in 5-4. If you wait under that power-up until 5-9-2, you actually get a very good, favorable fire bar setup. It's not the fastest way to go through, but it is the safest.
So, with Mars, by the way, what's with the 0 on Mars's coins digit there?
I know he has an issue
weird looking
with his actual cart. He's had problems with his CRT and his cart in the past, so I'm just going to test it to that. He did have to test out his cart for some graphical issues there before the start of the race.
Yeah,
nothing nefarious. Mars is a reputable runner. I'm just going to put that out there now.
Yeah, 100%. So I just wanted to point out the thing that I was talking about in level 3 too, about like defeating certain enemies in order to manipulate what spawns are coming up, and that if you don't defeat any enemies, it can cause there to be too many sprites and whatnot. That's exactly what was happening in level 5-3 that caused Mars to not have a second platform. Which, as you said, that's why you have to jump on that Goomba, but Mars landed just in front of it, which not only caused him to power down. Oh yeah, Mars is having some more technical issues now. It looks like his game is actually not working.
I think his game actually crashed.
That was a really... That was a really weird glitch as well. The ground that's starting to draw in the sky and stuff. I've never actually seen that before.
Oh boy, I don't know what's going to happen up on here. We're going to have to go through this. We have had this issue before. So, looks like he's loading up. I don't know if he must have swapped to... he must have swapped to his EverDrive cart. Sorry for that for a second.
Well, I think he's been using the EverDrive cart the entire time. So that might just be, you know, some of the issues where sometimes, you know, the NES is kind of known for being a little volatile at times. And then on top of that, if you're using like a ROM and an EverDrive cart, you know, that's only going to increase the chances of complications and such than just using a regular cart.
Alright, so a bit of maintenance here, just as far as rules go, in race settings, marathon settings, even run settings. Something like this happens. Mars is able to take the warps to get back to World 5. So he's already beaten these levels, so that satisfies the requirements needed. So we will see a little bit of warps, hopefully. Mars should understand what's going on there.
Yeah, so what we're going to see Mars do here is he's going to warp to World 4, and then in level 4-2, he's going to warp to 5. Since he didn't finish... or wait, no. He's going to warp to... In 4-2, he's going to warp to World 6, because he did finish World 5.
He did finish World 5, so that is very much there for him to take, so...
That said, Goofy is just trucking here. He hasn't had any complications while all of this is going on, so it is going to take a little bit of a favor, an unintentional favor from Goofy to give this race back to Mars.
Here, depending on the runner's discretion, they could have agreed to a... I don't know the full rules on if it was a full crash, anything happened on that. I know Mars went through this before. but it's really runner's discretion on what goes on through here, and really admirable for Mars to just keep on trucking through the technical difficulties. It really says a lot to the character.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's doing the best he can do, 100%.
Oh, another crash going through on there. That is very unfortunate for Mars. So it looks like he stopped his timer. Everything's going through on here. We're going to find out what's going on through there. So,
meanwhile, Goofy coming into World 7-3. So this level is super complicated. It's a lot like 2-3, but we've got these. They added just a few Koopas to the ground in this level, and it just completely changes the level because of the way that the Cheeps can come down and actually turn the Koopas around on you, which can screw up your jumps, end up bouncing you into the pit, and just causing all kinds of unexpected issues. But Goofy makes it through unscathed onto Castle 7-4.
So yeah, like I said, it's really going to have to come down to a rules administrator on what to go through here. I don't know the specifics of this. I know we had this happen earlier in the tournament where a re-race was done, but that's really going to be up to the tournament organizers. It's going to be up to Goofy Chocobo. I'm going to be honest with you. He was already cruising into World 7 when this happened. It's very unfortunate, so...
Yeah, for sure. Right, Goofy has had a pretty much perfect run so far, which has been absolutely crazy. Mars's run was basically perfect until he hit that Goomba in 5-3, took a couple deaths there before the crash happened.
Well, clearly it was taking the death in 5-3. The game just did not know what to do with such a good run that was going on, so it graphically just crapped out, so... World 8-1 here, let's talk about this. This is actually a very difficult level in the any percent run for being small for the pipe jumps and everything you have to do. But with Fire Mario, you can just blast through those piranha plants, do everything you have to do to set up any despawns and everything else, setting up for good judges as well going on later in the run. It's just Goofy is making this game look very easy right now.
Yeah, I think 8-1 might be my personal favorite level in the game, and part of the reason is the fact that it is a level where you just hold right and run the entire time, and it's just a matter of jumping and shooting fireballs that gets you through it safely. Except then if you're small, you can still get through the level just holding right and run and jumping. It's just a lot harder, but it's no slower. So it's just such a cool, wonderfully designed level. Goofy took a hit at the opening staircase of 8-2. That's a really scary part of the game. He did grab the safety mushroom in 8-2, though. That'll help him, if he chooses, grab firepower in 8-3. Otherwise, we might just see him use it as safety and run through the level.
I would almost see it using as a safety at this point. Grabbing fire is moot. While we want to fire kill Bowser to save the time on all the other worlds, in 8-4, the timer ends when you grab the axe. So it does not matter. Fire killing Bowser is for swag only, so
yep.
Goofy definitely looking like he's taking this very safe going through. Coming up on that, and I'm just gonna say this: I think we undervalue how difficult the start of 8-2 is with those stairs. As big Mario, you've got that Koopa, you've got the Lakitu, you've got the stairs. Any kind of stair boss, and you're just done. Absolutely, it is a very tough trick.
Yeah, you have to jump onto just the right spot of the stairs, then do a full duck jump up to another stair, then do a little duck jump onto the top. It's a lot of inputs in rapid succession. So Goofy is in 8-4 now as Small Mario, something that I imagine he's very comfortable with. He nails the wall jump. We'll see how he does on turnaround. Oh, a Cheep came close, but he's looking good there.
Goofy sat up and said, "Not today, Cheep. This ain't it." Alright, coming through these fire bars. This is a very difficult swim to get optimal. These guys are bad. Challenge the bar, get through. Goofy's only got the Hammer Bro and Mr. Bowser himself. Bop it.
Oh my gosh!
Potaboo gets him.
So he challenged it. Yeah, challenges the final Potaboo and takes a death. That is brutal.
Alright, so we get to see 8-4 all over again. So, coming up through, 378. First room is always beautiful. Let's see if he can go 2 for 2 on the wall jump here. Gorgeous. He is one of the top runners for that reason. That reason alone. Consistency is always key. Turnaround, friendlier cheaps. Back to the swim, because why wouldn't we?
Man, he was on pace for a crazy fast race there. Something
about a
in the
1925, I would say, from where he was at. So
in the 1920s, yeah.
Another gorgeous swim on his part. So does he challenge it again? He does. He gets the nice friendly Kotobu. He's going to wait for Bowser. He's going to go under. Time on a 2012 one death run. GG's for Goofy. We got to get this sorted out with everything. So it looks like Goofy is saying he's good for a rematch. We're gonna have to see what goes on through here. So, Speed Gaming has informed us that we do have time. So,
and hopefully that works out. I mean, I am a little concerned with the multiple crashes on Mars' end, but if he thinks that he's got his game sorted, then yeah, that would be good.
So as soon as we get this sorted out, guys, hang tight. You might get a doubleheader here. We got to figure out what's going on, so...
All right. But yeah, while they're figuring that out, I mean, I thought that was an absolutely wonderful race, as long as we had a race going on. I mean, they were basically in sync all the way through, or up until halfway through 5-3. Just such a close run. Both runners having just such a great run going.
I would dare to say that if Mars was able to keep the pace and regain the power-ups that he was looking at, that death at 8-4 might have made that a bit of a tighter run than it would have looked like the way Goofy was going beforehand. I can confirm that Goofy is not watching Mars's stream. That's not in poor taste to be watching the other runner to see where they're at. That's actually very accepted in the community. Goofy just has him and his splits going on. He is a man who likes to be by himself in the run. I love it. I do the same thing.
Yep, same here. Just me and Mario. So yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing about so Mars took 2 deaths in 5-3 before the crash, and one thing to know is that he took those 2 deaths were right after a checkpoint. So compared to that 8-4 death from Goofy, the time loss, I mean, if the rest of Mars's run had gone perfectly, I wouldn't be surprised if Mars had actually taken that.
It would have been very close. I mean, a 2012, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic time, but again, how these runners are, that's what it's going to come into. So I will say Goofy has agreed to the rematch on it. We're getting some confirmation from yep, looks like we're going to be back on, guys. Let me tell you, you guys are lucky. 2 for the price of 1. Super Mario Brothers. This is fantastic. I just want to talk about the sportsmanship of Goofy Chocobo. It would be tough for me to put up a good run like that and kind of feel like, hey, wait a second. That wasn't my fault. But Goofy is a fantastic person. Just being able to agree this, we're going to see this down to the nitty-gritty. Who's going to get Bowser first? Dash, are you as excited as I am?
Yeah, I mean, we get I was really, really excited for this race, and well, now we get 2 of them.
All right, so everybody's getting set back up. Goofy just wants to take about a minute or 2 break. Going through on that, he's going to be right back. I don't think we have to run through any pre-stuff or any predictions on this, Dash. What do you think? Put yourself in Goofy's mind. Is this a good thing? You just ran a very good race here. What's going through your head right now? Having to run this again, having to race again.
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, I feel like, as far personally, I'm just going to speak total personal experience here. Whenever I have a good run or whenever I have a good attempt or something like that, I feel like I always have a few stinkers right afterward. So I hope that that Goofy doesn't suffer from the same issue that I personally have.
Absolutely. So while we're waiting on Goofy, Let me just little peek behind the curtain here. Dash, if you can hold our audience captive for about 1 minute, I got to step out and refill my water bottle. I'm getting over a severe allergy attack, folks. So every time I'm letting Dash go on a long monologue, I'm shutting off my mic so I can cough up a storm. So let me go get a refill on this. I didn't realize we were going to do 2 races tonight, and I'll be right back, Dash. Please forgive me for the absence.
Yeah, that's just fine. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. Goofy, so, I was just speaking from a total personal experience. For sure, I think Goofy is definitely someone who can put up a good run after a good run, and possibly even a third if he had to. So I don't have any real worries there. And that's true, Stroker. Yeah, I was, when I was asked last time who I think might win the entire tournament, Goofy was the name that I said. So that's part of the reason that I was so excited about this particular race, was the fact that I've been talking up Goofy, but then at the same time, Mars has just been on a tear, just taking everyone down that he's been up against, including GT Ace and, Mamoru, I believe, was the last one. So yeah, and he's just been doing absolutely amazingly in this tournament so far. So we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't have any more console issues, or EverDrive issues, if it's the EverDrive that causes it. I'm not sure. That's definitely why I'm personally the type who, I don't own an EverDrive. It might be helpful, but if I were ever doing in a race or doing actual runs and that kind of stuff, personally, I'm the type who would always be on the actual cartridge. But all right, so the rematch is off. It looks like they are already synced up from last time, on the timers, that is, and their Marios are synced too. So here they go, coming into 1-1 here. Looks like they both got 365 on their timers, so the sync shall continue into the next level here.
Beautiful job on the 365. Sorry, Dash, I thought you saw the chat that back in. But in 1-1 grabbing power up, actually the optimal time is 366, which would trigger 6 fireworks, which would lose you a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, it is possible to get a 367, but it's pretty rare. Likewise, it is also possible to get a 7 on this level after picking up the power-up, but it's also pretty rare. Most of the time on this level, you'll see people weight a 6 down to a 5 here as well.
All right, so 45 and 44 on the timers. These guys are showing that, we can't... It's not just once. They could repeat these runs. So far, clean up through. As we saw the first time round, they both ran very clean, almost sync. We'll see how World 5 treats them if 5-3 is kind to Mars again.
Yep, and it looked like it looked like Mars finished 1-1 just a little bit sooner. But then in 1-2, Goofy Chocobo actually took just a slight lead there. So they're basically synced, but it did flip.
Absolutely, and really, it's difference of a frame rule here, a frame rule there, how quickly you get on the kill there for Bowser, and that's really what is the difference between these first levels that you're going to see coming up through here. At this point, it's going to be more analysis for me, Dash. I don't think we can explain this game any more to death than we have the first 20 minutes of this race.
These Bowser kills are so good!
So fantastic. We cannot state enough how difficult it is to get that Bowser kill with speed. These are world-class runners you're looking at right now. So, as we go into World 2-1, we did mention this earlier, touch on the breathe. This has been a fantastic couple of months for Super Mario Dash. We have a new world record in the any percent category, the most optimized speedrun out there, in my personal opinion. GG's to Taven Webb for being the third person to get 455, and not even pretty much right after he goes through that, GT Ace found a setup where we could actually get to 454 in the any percent category. It's just been mind-boggling the last 2 months, Super Mario Bros., how just the world records and the strats have just improved and gone and gone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is really nuts the way that a run will get optimized to the point where basically everybody says that's it. You know, there won't be another run, or you can't get any faster than this, and it's until, you know, that record then stands until somebody finds a new trick that breaks open another several frames to save. And that kind of news is always really exciting to see.
And for those of you who haven't been following, no, Cosmic has not gotten the sub-19 yet. He is waiting in the end of the winners bracket for this second chance bracket to play out. If I'm not mistaken, the winner of these guys... Oh, this is poor job by the announcer not having it going up to. This is the quarterfinals in the second chance bracket to see who goes on to go through, and I am just stalling right now, Dash, because I, for some reason, don't have this in front of me.
Well, I want to talk about these cheeps here. Looks like they're the two runners are... Oh, okay, Goofy was shooting a few fireballs. I was going to say, you see some runners will just shoot fireballs during these levels to randomly bop certain cheeps as they come up, and some runners don't.
All right, Supersonic. That's who the winner is going to face next. The winner of that match goes on to LK, and then the grand finals is Cosmic, the world record holder in this category, patiently waiting for these guys to duke it out for the right to play him.
Yeah, and you know, it's he's not just patiently waiting, he is training and training as always. You know, the longer it takes the loser's bracket to catch up, the better Cosmic will be at the game once they get back up to him, you know?
I will say, like, the true final boss in a game, just Cosmic, we could put a training montage for getting ready to have to face the monster that is Cosmic coming through here.
Yeah, I've seen that he's got the strats down, and he's been on sub-19 pace many times. There's just been one thing or two here or there that's prevented it thus far, but let it be known, there will be a sub-19 Warpless run soon in this game.
Bold prediction from me, I'm going to call by the end of the year we will have sub-19.
By the end of the year, I think for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it was tomorrow.
You know what? As he said himself, his grind for sub-19 is probably the game paying him back for getting 455 so quickly.
Here it comes. Thanks,
you, Goofy. So here's the real question. Does Goofy thank himself when he does that strat?
Nah. No way. He thanks Koji Kondo for composing the music just right.
Oh, beautiful name drop there on that one, Dash. I'll give you that.
Ooh, so Mars took a kind of a interesting duck jump strat at the beginning of 3-3 there. He ended up bonking on the side of a girder, so that isn't going to put him significantly behind, but with how synced these runners have been and how perfect their games are, that is the first real thing that we could call a mistake that's happened on either of these runs yet.
As far as differences of frames go, as it boils down, you know, that's the difference between a frame rule or not. Again, these guys really don't know where these fire bars or potaboos are going to be, so they have to navigate it a little bit better. Goofy going a little bit slower. Mars playing aggressive. I like the aggressive play from Mars. That's going to give him a little bit back on that, but not really. So, again, as we saw it in the first time through, a very... I'm not going to call it mistake-free, but a smooth run for both runners so far in the first three worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now we get a bit of a breather here on 4-1. And
the most difficult level in the game, Dash, if I will say.
And they're almost perfect where it looks like Mars is running into Goofy's screen, you know? They're almost right there.
That is a cool visual effect right there, I will say that. So 340 is the optimal on the timer there, getting through, and we are going to go to the infamous level. So now here's the big question. We haven't gone through this. Are they both going to stick with the bottom route strats? I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I don't think they're going to switch it up.
Yep. It'll be double bottom route again, I think. I mean, it was successful last time.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And they both do the vine. So there's an interesting thing, that thing I was talking about, again, about spawning certain things, despawning other things. If you hit that vine block in 4.2, it makes it so that of the 4 pipes with piranha plants in them, the first one will not, the third one will not have a plant in it, but the 4th one will. If you don't hit the vine block, then the 3rd pipe will have a piranha plant in it. And I actually don't remember if the 4th one does, because I always hit the vine block.
And of course, hitting the vine block, not getting your muscle memory and sync to go for the wrong warp there, which would be absolutely devastating in a warp-less run.
Oh, for sure.
So again, looking through it, did not see if Goofy got it, did not see if Mars...
yeah, it's pretty tough to tell.
So,
one firework for both of them, though.
One firework, we will say, does not lose time for the run. It's okay to give yourself a little bit of adulation there if you end on a 1.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep, both going to take the maze through safely. Not going to see a 4-4 clip like we did in Sonic's race on Sunday.
And then let's see how these Bowsers go. Last time it was super cool the way they were different. Goofy again with the slide under the Bowser. Mars again with the in front of the Bowser.
It's like we're seeing the same exact race from before. So
yeah.
It's just absolutely mind-boggling.
I gotta say, too, Goofy stood up really fast after that Bowser. I was almost afraid that he was standing up right into him, but that was excellent.
Well,
oh my gosh, they're set up perfectly now. Mars is running, Goofy's screen is going right to Mars's. It looks perfect.
I absolutely love this. This is just the kind of stuff that after watching hours and hours of race just amazes you. This tournament. This is a moment, folks. If you are on a computer, feel free to clip that. That is just absolute gold right there. Not a bullet shot for either of them this time. Mars had to wait last time, so they are going to go ahead and stay in sync as we like it to be. Oh boy.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get into some Willy Wonka territory there, where it started to become slightly off, but not. It's still perfect.
Listen, when I see one of Mars's fireballs go through onto Goofy's game, that's when I'll truly... All right, so 5-3 is where Mars ran into trouble the first time through. Let's see if the Bullet Bills are going to be a little bit more cooperative for him this time around. So, and Goofy, he's got a bit of a wonky build there to start. He's going to have to do some avoiding, it looks like. So Mars seems to have a more favorable pattern. Goofy with the duck there. Beautiful dodge.
Yes, that duck slide off the platform was just gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely. Both made 5-3 look so easy. Goofy, shades of our good friend, Dodge Master Dooley. Dooley, if you're out there, hope you're doing well. Absolutely. 5-4. This is the toughest castle, in my opinion. There's the infamous Roy L. Goodbar strat coming through. These guys are going to take them as easy as possible. Get through. Mars doesn't get the duck jump in time, takes the hit on the fire bar. He's going to have to re-grab power-ups in 6-1, but again, the second time through, favorable Bowser, he's going to lose some time here, but he's not out of this race yet.
Yes, 5-4, or World 5, definitely, as we say, it's the run killer, and 5-4, the approach to Bowser is definitely the, to me, I think that's the most difficult spot in the game to keep your power-ups. So grabbing power-ups in 6-1 is something that every runner is very familiar with.
Absolutely. This is one of the last few chances to get full power-ups in one level going through here. What you saw the runners do, Mars is actually foregoing the Fire Flower here. He's going to go for it in 6-2, I would think. What you see the runners do is they actually jump on top of the coin blocks there and execute either a half or a full jump there. That actually causes the Lakitu not to shoot his first Spiny, especially if you have to get the power-up. That is crucial because every time you grab a power-up, the Lakitu is programmed to fire off a Spiny immediately at you. So Lakitu positioning and Spiny fire is very important.
Yeah, and as far as what you mentioned about getting the Lakitu not to throw that first Spiny, I have no idea why that works.
I don't either. It got explained to me by Rupert83 one night, so every time I hit that... You, Rupert.
I'll have to ask Rupert about it later.
We'll see. He didn't give me a full explanation on why it works, just how it works.
All right, and here we're in the infamous grayscale level 6-3. For some reason, the trees are gray here. It's great.
Beautiful. beautiful bullet bill kill there, right there by Goofy coming through. He is having another fantastic run. And Mars, again, not far behind with just the one power-up loss. So,
yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Dan.
Mars' run is very, very good as well here. He's taken one power-up loss so far. But yeah, his recovery is good, and he's doing very well as well. But Goofy is just on a tear.
For the second time in a row on a tear. Just again, I cannot put over how good these runners are. Lag frames there with Bowser. If you don't get the fast kill on there, those hammers overload, you're going to get some lag frames. That is going to slow you down. So there's a chance if Mars can avoid some lag, he gets a little bit, but I think a little bit less than Goofy. He actually makes up time there in 6-4.
Yeah, Goofy had some lag, but also that he had a goofy Bowser that jumped over his last shot, so he kind of had to wait for Bowser to land again.
All right, Goofy, though, just making beautiful work of 7-1 there. Going into our second and final swim, as long as the Cheeps and the Potaboos behave, really getting into the nitty-gritty down to the wire on this again, Dash.
Yeah, so 7-2, really interesting to see. I like that both of our runners seem to prefer using fireballs instead of duck swimming. The big difference between 7-2 and 2-2, since they're the same level layout, generally there's this kind of choke point here in the beginning that is usually more difficult in 2-2. We see Goofy has no trouble with it there in this one. However, 7-2 does like to instead give you this really nasty blooper at the end near your pipe. And so we'll see how that goes. So it looks like he had to slow down a little bit there, shoot that blooper. I think shooting that blooper is what makes it more likely for this blooper at the end to appear. That
Absolutely.
Goofy had to... Yep.
You are correct on that. So challenging that blooper to get through without fireballing him. Although Mars as well gets the bad blooper, he's going to wait for him, put him on a bad pattern.
Yeah, interesting the different strategies that they use to deal with that blooper at the end.
Right,
I've never actually seen the strategy that Mars used there.
So, and again, coming up through 7-2, like you said, these Koopas do provide a bit of a challenge here. One of the big things you have to worry about is one of the Cheeps coming up, and actually, as we call Kiss the Koopa, where as soon as the Koopa gets hit by the Cheep, the collision detects and the Koopa changes its course. So where you would think it'd be moving away from you, you could jump on the edge of that platform, you're actually going to pop a Koopa and jump down into the hole. So that is something you do have to worry about in 7-3.
Yeah, luckily firepower does mitigate it quite a bit, and one funny little thing about that is you notice that the runners are shooting 2 fireballs at all of the Koopas, and the reason is because even if you have firepower and you're fire killing the Koopas, sometimes the Cheeps will come up, take a bullet for the Koopa, and cause you problems that way, so the double fireball shots mitigate that.
Let's talk about how friendly those Cheeps and Koopas are, kissing each other, taking a bullet for each other. Goofy dealing with some lag frames again, not a clean kill for him. If Mars gets a fast kill on this, he's going to make up a little bit of time here coming into World 8, coming down to the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah, another silly Bowser for Goofy. But here we go, into World 8.
All right, so enough said about it the first time through. Some of the things you're going to go through, like I said, if you're small, you have to execute pipe jumps here to get through optimally. With fire, you're just going to go ahead and blast him. You're going to watch Goofy bop the first Koopa there, which is going to despawn a Goomba right there to make it an easier jump to get up and through and over that little section there to get through it optimally. So that's how you get to 200, which is the optimal time here in 8-1.
Yep, it not only despawns that Koopa, or Goomba, but it also makes the Koopa in the cage spawn flying towards the right, which makes it easier to jump through there and avoid him.
And again, up and through, Goofy does not get to the top of the flagpole, but he is through with the 200, so maintain the lead. Again, a very clean run from him. Again, let's just, again, as I say again 3 times, excuse me. Just the consistency. Goofy does not take the hit this time. He decides to take the stairs optimally and through 8-2.
Yeah, so on 8-2 now, another just wonderful level, and oh my gosh. Now, so we can see, I was talking about how the Mars's damage that he took earlier and the recovery was good. I mean, we can see right here just how barely behind he is. Now that the levels are a lot longer, he takes another hit on the... That is one of the hardest parts of the game right there.
Absolutely. Goofy did employ the infamous Xerox Fiend BBBB strat in 8-2. Mars did not, and then that is where safety comes into play. Mars is going to have to play one of the toughest gate levels in this game without a power-up, so...
Yeah, that bullet bill dodge at the end was really, really close for Mars. I'm glad he made it through that.
All right, Mars is going to go for the safety shroom here. I do not blame him. This is extremely difficult. Goofy with an interesting strat to ensure that he gets the 42. Like we said on the other levels, you look at getting a 43 to run this optimally, so you do have to slow down at some point in this level in order to get... not to get fireworks, excuse me. So Mars is going to take that power up into 8-4, which is going to help him. He can damage boost through Bowser to get to the axe. Again, watching Bowser take the drink in the ragu is not the end of the game. It's hitting the axe. But Goofy just running a clean 8-4. Let's see what happens with that Potaboo again.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if he challenges the Potaboo.
All right, Goofy coming up on through the swim here. Looks like he did activate Duck Swim through here. It doesn't matter having the fire at this point anymore. Do you want to explain Duck Swim, Dash, real quick?
Yeah, so if you start... We don't really have time, but if...
No,
if
we
you,
don't. Hold on. We'll explain it in a second here. I want to get this. Goofy's coming up. Gets the hammer, bro. Challenges. Gets through. He's up and over.
Through the
touches
hammers.
Air. Goofy
Beautiful.
Chocobo is our winner. 1919.
1919. Can you believe it? What a phenomenal race time, especially just going back to back, having this be the second run. Mars, it looks like he takes the Potaboo safely. Very good idea since he powered down. He gets the axe. 1940, also just an insanely great time. Wow, just, yeah, back to back. Excellent race. Very, very good time from both runners. Wow.
Absolutely. Just a little bit of maintenance here. Official SRL times, 1924 and 1950. For both of them, Goofy Chocobo is our winner. We're going to see if we can get these guys in for interviews here. As we were talking about at the beginning of this race, Goofy is now on to face his friend Supersonic for the right to go against LK for the right to go against Cosmic. These are the best runners in the world getting up through here. Dash, we got to see two fantastic races. What did you think?
I mean, it was two for the price of one. Personally, I thought the second race was even better than the first. So yeah, it was absolute pleasure to watch, especially with the results that we got. Such great times from both runners. I think they should both be very proud of their performances. And let's hear if they are. Chocobo, Goofy Chocobo is here. Let's hear it. How are you feeling?
Dash, Elder Spork, how are you guys doing? That was crazy.
Insane. I hope we're getting an overtime check for this one today. You got a doubleheader out.
You passed up baby back ribs for watching this. My hat's off to you, my friend. Good Lord. What's wrong with you?
You know what? The temptation was there to take a bite in between the races, but I went through that. Goofy, I want to congratulate you on your sportsmanship there. You did not have to run this race again. You put up a good time. You went through. You actually had a pretty solid lead before the crash happened, but you agreed to re-race immediately afterwards. A world of things could have gone wrong. Walk us through it.
Mars is my buddy, and I felt like he deserved another chance. He's been working his butt off, and I wanted to give him the best that I could bring. And I felt like when his cart crashed, I thought, we got to do this again. We got to do it right. So, there it is. I thought the second time around, as Dash said, I thought it played out a little bit better. At least it worked in my favor really well. Better Bowser patterns and so on. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I was pretty pleased with that run. I couldn't have asked for anything better, honestly.
All right, bringing it into Mars. Congratulations on 1940. What happened with the crash? Were you running on an EverDrive? Had problems? Do you have a Mario Kart? What happened here?
So the first match I was using, or the first time my cart crashed, I was using my Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt cart. It switched over to my EverDrive, and it crashed twice. So I thought, yeah, I don't want to continue. So I forfeited that race. Unfortunately, Goofy gave me another chance.
Absolutely, that was kind of a weird graphical glitch. Is that because I know you tested it beforehand? Is that something you kind of knew that was going on?
I didn't expect
Really
that.
ahead of time?
I didn't expect that. I mean, like, there was some weird, like, the coin thing. Count, like, the icon. It was, like, some weird blue box. So I was like, okay, this is not good.
Yeah, that was the deadly
Right.
omen, as I like to call them.
Yeah, and then after beat 5-4, only the last digit of my score was showing. So it's like, this ain't good. And then completely different level. Like, it was a ROM hack. I was playing.
Absolutely.
Just crashed. So.
Now, so Goofy,
That's
again,
fine.
you were not watching Mars at the point. You said this in the SRL stream. You had no idea what was going on.
No, I had the CRT and I had my split, so I minimize everything because I can get easily distracted. So yeah, I had no clue until I hit, my final split, and I looked over and I saw SRL blowing up. Thought, well, crap, what happened? And I saw that Mars's cart crashed. I'm like, we got to redo this. We just got to do it right.
Absolutely. So, back to it. This is kind of a rare occasion where you guys got to rerun. I'm going to start with you, Mars, this time. You took 2 deaths in 5-3 there. You had some bad build patterns. Pretty much similar through the first half of the game. What was the information you kind of took with you getting that kind of first run in, having to race a second time?
I was thinking, like, I was hoping that, like, my cart wasn't gonna crash, like, after the first one. Second one.
It's pretty reasonable to be thinking.
Yeah. Much about, like, the cart crashing and what would happen in the middle of the game. First race, so.
Did you do better on the second time around, Mars, in 5-3?
Yeah, it was better the second time.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
no, Mars was a very clean race. He really only lost power-up was the big stumble that he took, ended up being the difference in the race. I think Mars lost it.
5-4, there was a power loss, yep.
Okay.
And then in 8-2 as well.
The easiest places to take a hit, honestly.
Yeah.
Goofy, getting a second chance at the crack. The Lotaboo got you the first time through, which would have given you like 1925. What information that first time around did you take with you to put together a better race?
All right, so it may not have looked like it, but I wasn't playing as conservative as I could have the first race, and so I thought I'm going to buckle down and play 5-4, a little bit more conservative. And that worked out. Sometimes, no matter what you do, 5-4 is just going to be a crapshoot. But that worked out. And 8-2, you guys probably remember on that duck jump at the beginning, I raised up too early.
Yep.
That time I made sure to hold down and to where my thumb would get sore. I held it down so hard. And made sure I got through that. And at the end, do the Xerox BBBB. It never fails.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad that worked out for you, because in my experience, when I press down too hard, sometimes I accidentally hit left or right at the same time, and that causes the same issue of standing up too early.
Oh man, I've been there. Yes, I've done that exact thing. That's almost worse than not holding down long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Or my favorite part, holding down really hard and having your controller drop the input right there, and you stand right back up.
Yes, that's up there.
So
but, yeah, I mean, other than that, I just kind of tried to keep it simple once I got to World 8, as simple as World 8 can be, and hope that I kept fire going into 8-4, and it worked out.
Absolutely. Let's look ahead now. Coming up, Goofy, you've got a very, very big race up next. You have not had a break yet coming through. As you've got down here, you have the number 3 runner of this category in the world, Supersonic, your good friend. Not only is he in this tournament, he's submitted this to one marathon that I know of coming up. He is in GDQ running this game coming up here soon. This is a category he is very familiar with, as you are. You guys are top runners here. What do you think about this matchup? Man,
I've been hoping for this for the longest time. I'm super pumped to go against my red bro, Supersonic. And, he's just a good friend. He really inspired me early on as I was developing as a speedrunner. So, yeah, dude, this is going to be extra hype. Sonic, if you're there, man, I'm super pumped for this.
All right, awesome. And Mars, for you, unfortunately, you're kind of, but it is true. As the 22 seed coming into here, this was a very Cinderella run for you. Just some of the people you took out, the 18 seed Mamaru, the number 2 seed GT Ace, the number 14 seed YouTube Man. These are guys that you beat along the way here. What's next for you? Are you going to be continuing in Super Mario Brothers, or do you feel like you want to change up games here and run something else for a while?
I'm probably gonna switch to 90% for a few days. Kart, and I'm gonna come back to Warpless for 1908 or better, since my PB is 1909. Other games as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. So everyone watching, make sure to follow Mars to follow those any percent runs and see him climbing the leaderboards there. Also, make sure to check out Goofy Chocobo. On top of being an excellent Mario player, he's been playing a lot of Child of Light lately, which looks like a sweet game. So don't forget to follow the runners.
Absolutely. So with anything else back on that, this is going to be towards the wind this down, as I always like to do. Final comments. We're going to start with our winner, Goofy Chocobo. Final comments today.
Nothing much, guys. Thank you for doing what you do. Appreciate the commentary. I'm sure the viewers did as well. You guys do a great job. Yeah, thanks for helping out. And I'm looking forward to the next race.
All right, Mars, final comments from you today.
All right, so GG Goofy on the win.
You too, Mars.
Kind of you to do a rematch, which wasn't the best, but tournament.
Yeah, it went great. It was a pleasure to watch. I mean, you both got double sub 20 is always really exciting, but it was like significantly that, you guys were both way under it. So it was an excellent run to watch.
All right, Dash, I'm actually going to put your feet to the fire here for a second. I do these at the beginning of the race. We're going to do this at the end here. I want your bold prediction. Goofy Chocobo versus Sonic. Who's going to win? Who's going to face LK? And who's going against Cosmic in the grand finals?
It gets harder every round. I mean, every round they get the runners get so much closer to each other. But I'm sticking to my prediction, is what I'm saying. That's all I'll say.
All right, so I'm going to encourage all of you guys to stick around here on Speed Gaming. They're going to have an Ocarina of Time coming up on this very channel. That is fantastic. If you guys have not seen an OOT rando, it is absolutely insane. I am in awe of N64 speedrunners to begin with. Now you want to throw a randomizer into going through that game, just fantastic. There's also an MM2 rando going on SG2. I always like to say, just follow all of the speed gaming channels. They're up to what, 70 or something now? It's just fantastic content. That's an exaggeration. I think it's speed gaming 1 through 6. So many different speed runs that you can absolutely see in tournaments going on as of right now. And I will say they are putting together a live Super Mario Bros. Warpless tournament in October down in Washington that is just going to be absolutely fantastic. I always love to put over speed gaming. They do such a great job helping us out with this tournament. As always, I like to thank Rupert83 for doing all of the hard work here, organizing this, keeping us all in check going through that. That is going to do it for us tonight. We're going to go ahead and kick it on over. So let me just get one last thing in there. I just had to ask one more question to the speedrun volunteer going through there. That is going to do it for us tonight. On behalf of Mars02, on behalf of our winner, Goofy Chocobo, Dash Retro, always a pleasure to be on the commentary with you. I am the Elder Sport. Guys, have a fantastic evening. We'll catch you next time as soon as we get these matches scheduled. Have a great evening, guys.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks, guys, for running. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And thanks to Speed Gaming for putting us or hosting us up. So, see you guys later.